Hi, welcome back. If you've never been here before, I'm Lodane. I'm a producer for an online political commentary and news show called TRRS, hosted by my friend Rob Rousseau.
Thank you for joining us. It's really exciting to have you, Nick. Really great to have you.
Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you.
I'm a fan of your show.
I've also been known to show up on vlogs with Life Plus Cindy. That's probably about all you would know me for, but I am doing VLOGMAS, and I hope you enjoy the show. Good morning. It's not even 9 a.m., so that's a surprise. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, I am really tired of having all of this editing hanging over my head. It's kind of a rain cloud. I am going to take us to make some coffee, and then we are going to figure out how we're going to approach that in an efficient manner so I can be caught up. My ambition has, always outweighed my energy. Let's try and fix that today. Ladies, gentlemen, those that have ascended both class and gender in such a way that you no longer need such titles, it's Door County Christmas. Notes of cinnamon and spice. A top secret recipe. Okay, I've actually been really looking forward to this one. Everyone says they like it, so let's do it! Alright, sniff test. Okay, that smells like coffee. Straight up does smell like Christmas, like gingerbread? That's puzzling. I have no idea. I mean, it says cinnamon. Yeah, I got no idea though. Oh my god, it smells amazing. I better brew this. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Now the sweetener's in. We want 1, 2 tablespoons of creamer. Okay, how cute are these? I didn't really get a whole lot at Winco, and so doing a haul of that would be pretty pointless, but these were there last night, and I did pick them up, and they're by Red Brick Roasting Company, which I think, because it says it's distributed by Winco Foods, may be their own house brand, or it may just be a company that they're associated with, but winter roast, I don't know what that's gonna taste like. Maybe it will be in the same vein as our Door County Christmas here. And gingerbread! Yep, we are running out of room in here. Gonna have to figure out another container today. Okay, cheers. Moment of truth. Oh, wow. Gingerbread is the one thing I definitely think I can pick up. I don't know. My palate feels a little dull in the morning, but God, it's too good. I need to stop raving about it, but when I woke up this morning, I was freezing. And for once, the apartment actually felt pretty cool because the downstairs neighbors are apparently descendants of hell and really need to keep it warm. So all of the heat travels up here, and I've barely had to turn the heater on at all. And I should be happy about that, but my air conditioner broke in August, and the apartments don't want to come fix it because it's out of season. What do I need an air conditioner for, after all, after, September in Oklahoma? Seriously. The quote of, you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change. There's, a debated attribution to that, but one of the more popular attributions is from Will Rogers, and it is about Oklahoma. I know everyone thinks that statement is about their, state or whatever, but you really should take a look at how turbulent the weather can be here. But anyway, I digress. It was actually cool in the apartment for once, and I turned on the heat, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, okay, no, done with that. Jesus. Because the apartment's plenty toasty now. I've got coffee in like this really fuzzy robe between the hot coffee and like this fuzzy furry kind of robe. It's like heavy velveteen and then these furry cuffs. It was my mom's. I thought it was tacky as hell, but you know, it's very warm. I'm blathering. What I'm gonna do is for the next 15 minutes or so, I'm just gonna like get myself together. I plan on really motivating myself as much as possible to get as much of this editing done so I can also do some housework. I don't think I really have a whole lot of errands outside the house to do today. I'm pretty sure my oxygen sensors need to be replaced in my car, and I guess I could go buy them. I don't know that I want to fix the car today, though. I don't know. It might be early enough. I want to get a lot more editing done, and then we will fix the car. Yeah, you get to see mechanic Lodane, car Dane, wrench Dane. Okay, enough screwing around. God! These things are so weird. It's like putting slugs under your eyes. They're so like wet and slippery. Oh. Well, I guess like cold, slightly still slugs, which is an even more morbid picture, I suppose. Ooh, yeah. Why does it make me look like it makes it look even worse. Like, look at that. It's like, oh my god, look at these dents you've got. I got a little bit of the juice in my eye over here. Oh my god. And of course, like, it's like 2 different acids or something, you know. Hyaluronic acid. Feverfew extract. I don't really know what chamomile extract is supposed to be doing for under your eyes. Propylene glycol, of course. Of course, we love it. We do I legitimately do like propylene glycol. It's one of the 3 ingredients, well, 4, I guess, in vape fluid. Glycerin, nicotine, and then, of course, flavor being the 4th one. Sorry for the great camera work there, but yeah, hey, look, I got silver eyes. Okay, I'm not awake enough yet. Okay, I'm gonna let you know something that I just saw. Fortnite has done a few concerts in the past, and I've actually always thought they were really impressive and interesting. My buddy Gene is a games journalist, and he talks about how, like, the closest we've gotten to the metaverse thus far is actually Fortnite. You know, as far as like the Ready Player One, or I prefer Caprica virtual environment where you can be Sonic the Hedgehog and I can be Bobby Hill and we can hang out, you know, that kind of thing. So, seriously. You know, I'm going to put a pause on that thought and just say that my parents would not let us girls leave if someone pulled up and honked. Like, if they don't have the respect to go to the front door and knock, or at least in this modern age, use your cell phone. There are babies in this apartment building. Go ahead, keep pulling up to places and honking, okay? Like, some colicky baby is just gonna, like, cause some poor mother to lose her mind when some asshole comes along bumping his music or honking. Like, back to Fortnite. So yeah, I've kind of regretted what I said about maybe they should have more concerts recently because they just had Eminem. And like, I mean, look, I saw 8 Mile day 1 20 years ago or whatever the hell. Came out around the same time as like Napoleon Dynamite, right? I saw him in the same theater at least. That's how my memory works. But what I was saying was, I thought Eminem was pretty regrettable, especially at this point in his career. But wow, they're having the Weeknd. They're having the Weeknd do a concert. I used to have the most neutral opinion of that guy. Man, the Idol really changed that. And I'm just thinking, do we really want a bunch of kids looking up this guy's body of work? Do we really want a bunch of kids going, hey, 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack? That's actually a lot of cool music. Maybe we should go watch that movie and teach all those kids all the wrong things about everything ever. Go watch The Idol, kids. Johnny Depp's daughter. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go do that. I'm dying. I'm dying. Okay, I apologize if this is really janky. You would not believe the angle I have my phone in the cabinet in order to catch this. So I was picking up in the living room and I found this, which is a book that one of my old roommates was going to throw away. I appropriated it to use for purposes like this. Sorry if you're a book lover and this horrifies you. Sorry, Edward. As you can see, the pages were already falling out. It is falling apart. So I used it to press some flowers. These are pink carnations. Wow, these are really delicate. I was going to put these in a bag. I'm not sure that's gonna work now. Well, I have a zillion containers. We're still in frame there. All right, I just got a bunch of these airtight containers. The really neat thing is that, like, regardless of their height, they all use the same lid. So I really like that. Okay, I hope this is long enough for all of these. All right. So I do buy myself flowers sometimes, which should not be an unknown practice with the Cindy-verse, at least. My friend Cindy likes to, random hair, likes to buy herself flowers, and I love that because I also love to buy myself flowers. My nephew, I wouldn't say he makes fun of me, but I think he thinks it's really novel that I'm always like, well, it's just like $5 and it cheers me up. You know, he's like, we should put that on your headstone. Or like book of quotes or something along those lines. So, blow, wind, blow. All right. So this was actually a bouquet of pink carnations that made me pretty happy. So I thought maybe they could continue to do so. Oh no. Oh no, this little guy. Well, this big guy. All right. La 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 la. Na 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 na. I knew when I put that one in there with the big stem it was a risky proposition, so. Look at all these. Part of the reason I need to do this is because I need the book again. Because, okay, we're gonna put those aside. Anyway, I have a new bouquet, or not so new now. It's been with me for over a week. And it is, I believe those are zinnias. They look like daisies, but they're very colorful. And I grew zinnias in junior high, and they look very much like that. Okay, it does. There we go. I was like, it feels like there's still more in here. Aw. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. All right. Oh, wait. There was an old woman who lived under a hill. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. You know, I always used to get that mixed up with, Peter Pumpkin Eater. I don't know why, but maybe those ladies were neighbors. Like, one lived in a big pumpkin, one lived in a big shoe. They both had worthless men in their lives. All right. I'm going to press those other flowers here soon. Now that this is done, I know I can do it. And All right, we'll do those in a little bit. Zinnias and lilies. Not tiger lilies. I don't really know what kind they are. They have like a, they're white with a pink center. You'll probably see them. Don't worry about it. Okay, I am going to put this last one in its own bag. Delicately. Delicately. There we go. And my hands are already dirty. Okay. Yay! All right, thanks for pressing flowers with me. So, I was just propping up the camera by putting the hydrocortisone cream under it because it had to be at an angle, placing the phone on top of it with the camera actually hanging over the lip, and then put my crystal carafe with glass here that I keep here to like take pills. So that was weighing down the phone. I know, I'm super clever. Real genius hours. They should be giving me my Nobel Prize any day now. Considering the fact that, like, I think Kissinger got, like, a Peace Prize. I'm pretty sure that's worthless. But I am really tired of looking like a scrub. I mean, I've been in, like, house marm shape for the last couple days. So I want to get pretty, but right now it's about that time that we should be going live on TRRS, so I probably should do a little producing. Like, that's kind of sort of my job. Hey, you know, we got that Christmas bonus to think about, right? So, you know, I can't be slacking off all month. He likes to talk about subversive politics and news. I've gotten in trouble recently for making subversive comments in a sarcastic manner about history outside of what we're taught in the West. But hey, what do I know? I mean, I was just taught the same chapter of history every single year in America. Did you guys have this? So, like, you start out the school year with your new history book, and you basically get the we fast forward through everything to the American Civil War. We do spend a lot of time on the Founding Fathers. And then we go on to the Civil War, and I mean, my books practically explained it as the War of Northern Aggression, and that took me a long time to overcome. You wouldn't believe how long I was making arguments like, oh, but wasn't there a financial aspect? Weren't there, like, tariffs and stuff? Like, it wasn't all about slavery, right? Right? And you probably have the wrong idea of Reformation like I did, because that's all we really focused on was the Civil War, which was a bundle of lies, and then the fairy tale version of Reformation. So, and that's all we ever got. We got that far in the year, and then, like, basically the year was over. And the next year, we crack open our history books, learn about the Founding Fathers, fast forward to the Civil War. I mean, it's the same thing. Same thing with Spanish, by the way. We would always learn 0 through 20, and the colors, and biblioteca. Like, I was in, like, 8th grade before I even learned how to ask where the bathroom is, and that was from a Spanish speaker who went to our school. So, I mean, really, just absolutely worthless. And I have my own little theories on why we only learn English in the West. And that theory is primarily to keep us from talking to anybody in the global South or Asia or even most of Europe. Because, I mean, if we only speak English, that forces them to learn English in order to communicate with us, effectively make English like the lingua franca of the whole world. I just really kind of think it's to segregate us. I don't know. As soon as Westerners find out what's going on in South America, they usually don't like it. I have heard online that some people are afraid I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I want to put that to bed right now. I am in no way a conspiracy theorist. Not really more than your average Joe. You know, I'm not talking about jet fuel can't melt steel beams and the earth is flat. Oh my god. That's actually a great example. As a Discordian, Discordians are largely associated with the Illuminatus trilogy, which is a fictional trilogy that was written in the late 70s about the fictional version of the Illuminati. Most of the Illuminati conspiracy theories that you hear, they got the majority of it from this fictional book. It was a seminal work because people like Dan Brown just take that stuff and instead of making it like an absurdist comedy, he just makes it super serious. It's just really obscure these days. So if you've ever heard anyone talk about FNORDs or anything like that, that's where that stuff comes from. There is a lot of the fiction of the Illuminati that came from that trilogy. So, Flat Earth, why is that a good example? Well, because Discordians have this holiday called Operation Mindfuck. And Operation Mindfuck is when they would like send a bunch of jokey letters back in the day to like their congressmen and be like, oh, there's this drug on the market that when the kids can't find the grass, they smoke this instead. Please get it banned. And it's catnip, right? And so they go onto the floor and embarrass themselves trying to ban catnip. Which, I mean, yeah, you can smoke it, and I guess it gives you a little buzz. People receiving letters, welcoming them to the Illuminati, that kind of stuff, like Colbert got, that's Discordian stuff. Operation Mindfuck, in fact, because it's just like one great big festival of pranks and fake news, was the basis, if you've seen Fight Club, for Project Mayhem. So like all of that edgelord stuff that they were going around doing, like ruining corporate statuary and stuff like that, it's all kind of based out of Operation Mindfuck. Now, one of the projects of Operation Mindfuck in a long-term way was the Flat Earth Society. Now, there are multiple organizations with that name, but the original website that tried to convince people that the earth was flat. Like, this is one of many silly campaigns that were done back then. And as a result, there's no way I'm falling for that shit. Like, there's just no way. I literally know where it comes from, where the majority of these people get their shit from, and it was a jokey website that they all took seriously. So, conspiracy theorist, I am not. I will occasionally talk about the things that the CIA has declassified. And, you know, you can go look up, do your own research, right? But, yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that stuff. Like, we all know, like, the Contra, like, selling drugs in South America to fund Contra war. They've admitted to that. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. Like, they admitted to it. They admit it, you know? Yeah, not a conspiracy theorist. In fact, my last boyfriend, I broke up with that motherfucker over that shit. Like, he started getting way down the YouTube algorithm when it was way worse on that conspiracy theory stuff, and eventually was telling me about the high magic rituals that are being held at award shows and how these dance maneuvers and all of this stuff actually indicates, like, high magic rituals that they're brainwashing us with by sending it out on the airwaves. And I'm like, wow, that would be really cool and powerful. But it's not happening. That's not true. I was raised by a witch. I recognize high magic rituals when I see them. And, like, the closest thing we get to that are, like, cyber magic people, which are largely associated with chaos magic. And so I just really don't see it. I don't see it, but he wouldn't listen to me. Read the Illuminatus trilogy, raised by a witch. Motherfucker would not listen to me on anything because people on TikTok and YouTube knew more than me somehow. You know, idiots like that Mark Dice freak. Woo! But if you would like, I'd be more than happy to reiterate some of the information, historical and mythological, from the Illuminatus trilogy. You know, like, it's really fun how, like, Assassin's Creed, the first one, it's all red and white and all of that stuff. Like, that's all kind of a nod to one of the inspirations for the Bavarian Illuminati, which, you know, was shut down a long time ago. It was just an organization of people who were like, well, maybe the Bible isn't the end of science. Like, maybe there's more to it. Thus, illuminated. That's where the name came from. But the Illuminati was founded in Bavaria, and it was shut down a long, long time ago. Any other variations of the Illuminati that you've heard of existing were Discordian jokes. Called jakes, by the way. Those were Discordian jakes. They were, it's just a prank, bro. You were not meant to take this shit so seriously. Like, really. But, you know, Discordians used to think it was funny to put false information out and, like, laugh and point at the stupid people. In modern times, there have been propositions by modern Discordians that we live in such an era of fake news and BS that we just really don't need to do that anymore. And so I haven't really participated in Operation Mindfuck my whole life. Part of the point of Discordianism is not letting people dictate some dogma to you, so I don't really participate in that. But I do like the proposition that's been made recently, which is Operation Mind Fix. So, and that's basically telling radical truths in order to get people to wake up, sheeple, you know, snap out of it. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It was proposed a few years ago. I don't know how many people are, like, doing that, but, well, I guess I am right now. Do you feel mind fixed? Hello, editing Lodane here. I'm about to go on a completely unhinged rant because I saw some Baldur's Gate news in Steam and decided to talk about the entire Dragon Age series as a result. So, if you don't want very, very minor spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3, go to the time code listed here. If you don't want to hear any Dragon Age spoilers, please scrub through the video and you will see the 2 spots where I have Dragon Age series spoilers written across the screen. It is all contained within the Baldur's Gate bit, so if you want to just skip all spoilers, go to the time code. Thank you, and I'm sorry. Okay, I am waiting for a bunch of video to import into the video editor. And while it's reading and rendering all of that, I went to pull up Steam. Then I saw Baldur's Gate actually has an update and it helps fix the ending, I guess. Thank God. Because really, Act 1 and 2, best role-playing game I've ever played. Act 3, worst role-playing I've ever played. Just god-awful. I'm about to offend any soulless mancers in the chat, but let me tell you, I'm not exactly a fan of super psychologically abusive relationships, especially with, like, genocidal maniacs. And so, I've never been a soulless mancer, you know, in Dragon Age, never romanced Solus. I think his name is appropriate, actually. Romance literally anybody else in that game? Literally anybody else in Dragon Age Inquisition. They're all better. They're all better people. And so, it's pretty obvious that I hate Solus. I hate Solus with the fire of 1,000 suns. He's been my, like, #1 RPG character. I can't wait to fucking kill when I get the chance. Well, he's been topped by somebody in Baldur's Gate, a game I played for 3 months straight. I did almost nothing but wake up and play that game for 3 months straight because it was a crutch that I needed. I was in a really, really bad place in the beginning of August, and having something that could genuinely take my mind off of all of that for 3 months, I absolutely dove headfirst into escapism. Oh my god, they fixed the epilogues though. Like, I literally just uninstalled all my mods because there was like 15 gig of them. But look at this, you get like an epilogue? Oh my god, there's my girl. There's my girl, oh my god. There's my boy. I am a total disaster bisexual, especially in video games. Highly recommend, if you have a computer that will handle it, Baldur's Gate 3. Play it. Not me doing all that editing and forgetting to eat all day. No, I mean, you know, I got a little compromise going on. I got dressed. I didn't get dolled up. I realized that I hadn't eaten, and I was like, oh god, I don't have much here. Am I gonna have to go, like, get something? I was so relieved to, like, remember that I have tamales that I bought yesterday. I also bought shelf-stable Parmesan in case I want to make some kind of noodle dish or something. And, noodle dish. Went into the kitchen and was like, I think I'm hungry. And I took a few bites of this like dairy-free Ben & Jerry's. I am not an ice cream person. I don't ice cream a whole lot. It's not really my thing. I'm lactose intolerant. I guess I'm a funny one because there's something about being lactose intolerant where when people find that out, they always want to tell you about all the ways you can fix it. Like, you can get this kind of milk or that kind of milk, and you can get this kind of ice cream that isn't really ice cream, you know? And it's like, I'm good. I don't actually want to, like, have it be such a key point in my life that I, like, miss it a whole lot. I've been way better off with just some basic substitutions, like most things that call for milk, unless they, like, need the lactose for some kind of weird chemical reaction, caramelization, blah, blah, which is usually baking. You can usually get away with, like, cream. So, not really worried about it that much, but it's like once every few years, I'll get something resembling ice cream. I mean, I could get frozen yogurt, like, anytime, and it wouldn't upset anything. I don't know. My O2 sensors are being sketchy right now. I need to order those. I should probably order them tonight and go pick them up tomorrow. We can have a car girly moment. But I did reheat 3 of the tamales. They were frozen, so I'm just kind of letting them do their thing. I wrapped them in foil and put them in the air fryer, so it's a bit of an experiment. We'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, an air fryer is just a convection oven, and my mom used to cook, like, everything in the convection oven. She'd basically rotisserie a chicken in a convection oven. Now, hers looked like a great big, like, glass pot with, like, metal edging around it, and it had a big heavy lid, very similar to the big heavy lids you'd find on a crock pot, only that's where the motor was. That's where the actual, like, heating element was. So it was very strange. Like, it was all there on top. I guess most air fryers really aren't that different, but they're all convection ovens at the end of the day. So we're gonna see how that works out. Captain's log. Stardate 420 24/7 365 666 469. Our ship is circling an unknown planet known as Bedtime, and we are unsure of the life forms that we will find. However, okay, I can't keep going off the cuff with that. I realized that a lot of these Vlogmas girlies are filming on November 30th or 31st, the day before December 1st. I'm putting that out, and that would have been a lot smarter.
And now for something completely different.
Happy Krampus Day. According to the Magical Almanac, today is Krampus Day, and tomorrow, related, is St. Nicholas Day. So I'm going to go ahead and record both today. When you see me in this sweater again tomorrow, that's what that's about. We've got Krampus here. You may have heard of Krampus already, but let's find out why. Like, I was in that position. I was like, I don't know why I've heard this name. Like, what's up with that? Okay, Krampus in Central European popular legend. A half-goat, half-demon monster that punishes misbehaving children at Christmas time. He's the devilish companion of St. Nicholas. Krampus is believed to have originated in Germany, and his name derives from the German word Krampen, which means claw. Krampus was thought to have been part of pagan rituals for the winter solstice. According to legend, he is the son of Hel, the Norse god of the underworld. If you follow Kellyanne Maddox, that's one of her patron goddesses. Her primary, as I understand it. Krampus became associated with Christmas despite efforts by the Catholic Church to ban him. The creature and St. Nicholas are said to arrive on the evening of December 5th. Krampusnacht. I'm gonna mispronounce a whole bunch of German shit. So let's buckle in for that. All right. I'm probably just gonna say English versions. But that's Krampus night. While St. Nicholas rewards nice children by leaving presents, Krampus beats those who are naughty with branches and sticks. In some cases, he is said to eat them or take them to hell. Not his mother, but, you know. On December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, children awaken to find their gifts or nurse their injuries. I'm going to walk us through this Business Insider piece that's very little more than a slideshow, and then anything that's unclear we'll probably just go ahead and focus on. So, the story behind Krampus, Santa's demonic helper who exists to scare children into being good. Countries like Austria and Germany celebrate St. Nicholas on December 6th and have Krampuslauf or Krampus Run on the night before. Krampus is St. Nick's helper, but he is unbelievably scary. So scary that he was actually banned a few times, alternatively by the Catholic Church and the Austrian government. We're gonna have some notes about that one, alright? Put a pin in that one. Most Krampuses have thick fur, sharp horns, cloven hooves, fangs, and a long pointy tongue. Gene Simmons. Cool. They usually wear loud bells and chains, which they thresh around for effect, and carry a whip or birch branches to beat kids with. They also often brandish a basket or sack of some sort meant to transport kids to hell or the nearest river. Anyone can dress up as Krampus. The wooden masks are typically handmade, super intricate, and absolutely terrifying. Increasingly, Krampus runs have had issues with drunken Krampuses getting a little too into character by chasing people around town and beating them with sticks. The scary thing is that you never know who's hiding behind those masks. Though no one quite knows for certain, this tradition is often believed to have begun when the Moors raided European towns, kidnapping locals and selling them into slavery. This is the only place I think that we see this piece of information, so I'd put a big asterisk on that. Legend has it that their chains symbolize a binding to the devil by the Christian church, and the birch branches hail from ancient pagan initiation rites. Parents threaten their kids with Krampus all year long, arranging for him to show up in their homes should their threats go unheeded. Yeah, your parents make a pact with a demon because you are naughty. You know, I really thought Elf on the Shelf was bad. Now that I think about it, Elf on the Shelf is still bad. It's relentless paranoia that you are subjecting children to. Like, I'm sorry, but everyone should remember, if they're in touch with their inner child whatsoever, they should remember moments of paranoia while, like, going to the bathroom and wondering if God was watching them, or if Santa was watching them, or if their ancestors were watching them, or some other omniscient creature, right? That's terrifying. And to have that person, like, not just omniscient, but to have an agent in your house reporting everything. If your children have mental health problems that involve paranoia, you might want to take a look at your Elf on the Shelf. All right, I'm just saying, like, that's some sicko shit. It may be cute to you, but This is why Mr. Rogers was actually always very, very, very clear about the difference between imagination and making things up and playtime, right, between the real world. That's why we had the trolley to take us to the land of imagination, the land of make-believe, because to make believe is healthy, but it's not healthy to confuse it with reality. That's one reason he didn't like cartoons, is because they didn't really make a big distinction, you know? Keep that in mind, considering the fact that that man was a saint, and he wrote books on child rearing. Like, just give it some thought to, like, clearly outline to your children what is real and what is make-believe. That's why I have very mixed feelings about the whole Santa Claus myth and whether or not you should tell children and all of that stuff. When we get to St. Nicholas Day, I'll tell you a fun story. Come back next episode for that. Yeah, when St. Nick and his associates show up. Oh yeah, St. Nick has an entourage. We'll get to that later. When St. Nick and his associates show up, he'll start reading off a list of every instance a kid has misbehaved in the past year, while said kid trembles in terror under the watchful eye of Krampus, birch branches in hand twitching. Krampus is so insanely scary that he was actually banned a few times, alternatively by the Catholic Church and the Austrian government. Put a pin in that. And later, during World War II, for allegedly being a product of social democrats. I want all of you to get in a habit, okay? When something says during World War II, I need you to start wondering who in World War II. Just start thinking about that, because this is almost passive voice. Like this is so vague. But this is something that Western society does a lot, is they're very vague about who did what in World War II, at least in English-speaking countries. Especially Americans who think we came in at the last moment and saved everyone. Woo! Ask yourself, who won World War II? Really, who won World War II? I'll just leave it at that. Do your own research. In fact, Krampus is so terrifying that one Austrian town warned visitors ahead of time so that they wouldn't be afraid when drunken monsters were seen running through the streets. Krampus has been having a resurgence in Europe lately and has even caught on in the US. Krampus not? Purgus not. Yeah, so it's not. Okay. According to an article published by Maurice Bruce in 1958, belief is that the history of Krampus goes back to pre-Christian Alpine traditions. When I'm not in Washington, D.C., I live and go to school in Passau, a small city in Bavaria, Germany. Last December, I got to experience Krampus night when a friend and I decided to stop by the Christmas market on our way from class. As we were walking down the street, we heard bells behind us, and after thinking about it, we remembered it was Krampus night. Both of us were not looking forward to being scared by these very frightening creatures, so we quickly walked to the Christmas market, hoping to avoid the Krampuslauf. The Christmas market was essentially the finish line for the Krampuslauf, so after enjoying our bratwurst, we were surrounded by Krampuses in all sizes. We tried to get over our fear by taking a picture with them, and after seeing some of them were not wearing their masks, they weren't as frightening. But still, if I'm walking around Passau next year on December 5th, if I hear bells, I would probably speed walk in the other direction. Atlas Obscura has some really interesting stories. I would like to really get into one that, you can go look it up in advance if you'd like, but the history of Fanta, as told by Atlas Obscura, is a really fun piece. When it comes to Krampus, there's only one thing that's non-negotiable. Quote, "My costume is 40 pounds, and about 10 pounds of that is bells. To be Krampus requires bells and chains. Bells signal his arrival, and chains symbolically bind him to the Catholic Church. He is, after all, St. Nicholas's hellish minion." Quote, "The Jesuits start popularizing plays that involve St. Nicholas, but also the devil. It's the first time in European iconography that the devil is impersonated in theatrical performances." That's pretty cool. We've been learning about Jesuits, haven't we, folks? I do know that with Reformation, the, evolution of Protestants at that point did leave a lot of this saint stuff in the dirt, Basically, this fell away for a lot of people outside of Alpine areas. Quote, "The time between Thanksgiving and Christmas is not really a happy time, but now I can celebrate it the way I want to. I can dress up as a stinky goat man. Where did Krampus come from?" As with many masked rituals and celebrations around the world, the rites of Krampusnacht are transformative. They allow participants to abandon the conventions of daily life and indulge a wilder and perhaps darker aspect of their personality. As such, it's easy for things to get a little out of hand. We covered that. So here is a fun part that this is partially what we pinned, right? In the past, Krampus detractors have even outlawed the demon outright. Before Nazi Germany's 1938 invasion of Austria, Catholic Austro-fascists briefly held power, and as reported in a 1945 New York Times article, they saw Krampus as a demonic, unruly, and potentially communist usurper of Christian tradition. Krampus postcards and candies have always been popular, but at the time, Krampus had virtually usurped the role of prime gift giver. It was the demon, not Saint Nick, who made the rounds with sweets and gifts. Austro-fascists ordered anyone in a Krampus costume arrested on sight. They even required that all Saint Nicks be licensed by the state and monitored. Okay. Before Nazi Germany's invasion of Austria, Catholic Austro-fascists briefly held power. Let's analyze that, okay? So that means that when Austria was invaded by Nazi Germany, who was in charge? Hyper-religious, nationalist fascists, okay? Let's think about that and how they opened the door for the Nazis to just roll on in. Cool. I think this is a historical lesson we need to learn from, because by letting religious nationalist fascists take over power, you welcome the Nazis. From Vox. Krampus, the demonic Santa Claus you haven't heard about. Well, we have now, right? Okay, so this piece in Vox was from 2014. How can I celebrate Krampusnacht? You could go to one of these parties, and that links to krampus.com. Now, it looks like krampus.com hasn't been updated on their events since 2015, but some of these look like annual events, so I would check them in your area. If you are in, and these all look like they're American and Canadian, Ashbury Park, New Jersey, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Charlotte, North Carolina, Kitchener, Ontario, Edmonton, Alberta, Washington, D.C., Orlando, Florida, Norman, Oklahoma, L.A., Chicago, that's LA again, okay, Torrance, California, and Pasadena, California. So if you are in Los Angeles, it does look like you're probably going to have an event you could go to. I don't know how cool it's going to be in LA for you to wear that whole costume, but hey, you know, if you want to throw your own party, Gizmodo put together a nice list of 6 things you can do to get the party going. Make sure to search for DIY devil costumes on Pinterest and show up to your Christmas party in one. You could also go see the film Krampus. It's basically fine, but has a lot of issues. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this Gizmodo piece. 6 tools to help terrorize children during Krampusnacht. All right, Krampus suit. Okay. Absinthe. I don't recommend that, personally. I don't think that absinthe is a very pleasurable experience, and a lot of absinthe that is available on the market doesn't actually have the active ingredient of wormwood, so drink a disturbing amount of 180 proof absinthe. The drink is traditionally consumed on Krampusnacht, and not only will it get you drunk, you may or may not hallucinate. I'll also tell you that absinthe actually works best when it is built up in your system. So, kind of a waste. Barrel. This is the first of awful things you will do to children. You will stuff them in barrels and make them cry. Satchel, or Timbuktu bag. Know what Krampus does to kids? He swoops them up and carries them around in a satchel. Okay. Birch switch. Krampus also delivers some corporal punishment to bratty youths. His weapon of choice is a birch switch, or multiple birch switches. A lawyer, are you kidding me? Going around your neighborhood as Krampus is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. I was joking, mostly. Besides the fact that you're drunk in public while assaulting, I doubt anyone around you will appreciate the context under which you're masking around as a drunken demon, but if you actually went through with this, you better get yourself some good representation. Okay, good job, Gizmodo. That's it for Krampus night. I Don't really recommend the majority of this unless you have a sanctioned event to go to. And then I'm sure there are social mores and traditions that you can stick to there. Thank you for sticking it out and learning about Krampus night today. And tune in for the next video, and we will cover St. Nicholas Day, the companion holiday. That was the outro.